tonight. Voices crackle in the light. Transmission clear and raw.
Ever wonder how some businesses seem to pop up everywhere you go?
Like they've cracked some secret code to success.
Exactly. Today's deep dive is all about that code. We're talking franchising.
Unpacking how a single great idea can spark a whole chain reaction of opportunities.
And maybe even, build a legacy that sticks around.
Right, franchising is like taking a proven business model, a winning recipe, and then carefully replicating it through partnerships.
So you end up with a whole network of businesses, all sharing the same winning formula.
Precisely.
Now, when most people hear franchising, I bet they think burgers and fries, right?
Oh, for sure. That's the classic image. But franchising is way bigger than just fast food.
Yeah, I was just thinking about all the different types of businesses that use franchising.
Oh, absolutely. It's everywhere. Gyms, hotels, even educational services.
Educational services. That's interesting. Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about Kumon. They specialize in after-school tutoring.
Kumon, yeah, I've seen their centers around.
They actually started in Japan, focusing on math and reading, and now they're in over 50 countries.
Wow, that's impressive.
What's really interesting is how they've adapted their teaching methods.
Oh, right, because different countries have different educational systems.
Exactly. They've had to adjust to different cultural contexts and systems, but they still stay true to their core philosophy, which is individualized learning.
That makes sense. So it sounds like franchising is a great way for a business to reach a wider audience.
Absolutely. It allows brands to tap into new geographic locations and different demographics.
And that broader reach, I imagine, leads to more revenue streams.
You got it. We often think about the initial franchise fee.
Right, where someone pays for the right to use the brand and the system.
Exactly. But then there are also ongoing royalties, a percentage of the franchisee's sales that goes back to the franchisor.
So it's not just a one-time payment.
Nope. It's about building a lasting partnership.
Where both sides benefit. Now, before we jump into the partnership aspect, I'm curious about the different types of franchising models. What are the variations?
Sure. So you have single unit franchising, where an individual operates just one location.
Like a local coffee shop or a boutique?
Exactly. Then you have multi-unit franchising, where someone operates multiple locations of the same franchise.
Like a big restaurant chain?
Right. And then you have things like master franchising, where someone buys the rights to develop a franchise in a specific region, like a whole state or even a country.
So there are different ways to get involved depending on your goals and resources.
For sure. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Now, you mentioned partnerships earlier, and I wanted to circle back to that. How important is it to choose the right partners in a franchise network?
Oh, it's crucial. I mean, the success of a franchise really hinges on the quality and commitment of those partners.
You want people who are passionate about the brand.
Absolutely. Passionate, aligned with the values of the brand, and dedicated to upholding those standards.
Because if one franchise doesn't maintain quality, it could hurt the whole brand.
Exactly. Inconsistencies can damage the brand's reputation and ultimately harm the entire network.
Like a domino effect.
Right.
That makes me think about the legal side of things. What are some of the legal considerations with franchise agreements?
Franchise agreements, well, they're incredibly detailed documents.
I bet.
They outline the rights and responsibilities of both the franchisor and the franchisee.
So everything's spelled out clearly.
Yeah, everything from operational procedures, marketing guidelines, to territorial rights and how to handle disputes.
Wow, it sounds pretty comprehensive.
It has to be. It's essential to have experienced legal counsel involved to make sure the agreement is fair and that both sides are protected.
So it's not just about slapping a logo on a bunch of businesses and calling it a day.
No, not at all. It's about building a strong foundation, having a proven concept, shared values, and a solid legal framework.
And from what we've been discussing, it seems like franchising can be applied to so many different industries.
Oh, yeah, it's not just food service or, entertainment. We see successful franchises in healthcare, senior care, automotive services, even pet care.
It really expands the possibilities for entrepreneurs who want to scale their impact.
For sure.
But it also makes me think about the responsibility. You're essentially trusting others to represent your brand.
That's a great point. Building a successful franchise network requires a careful balance of support and control.
Support so they can succeed, but control to maintain the brand standards.
You got it. It's a continuous process of training, communication, and collaboration.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into franchising, what's one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
I would say franchising is a powerful tool for growth, but it's not a magic solution. It takes careful planning, strong partnerships, and a commitment to quality and consistency.
Great advice. And for those listening, here's a final thought. How has franchising shaped your community? Think about the businesses you frequent, the brands you love. You might be surprised how much franchising is a part of our everyday lives.